Hello, I'm Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan. I hope you're all off to a safe and healthy school year with your kids. Of course, it looks a little bit differently than it has in the past. And one of the things that for your kids as well as for you, I'm sure, we've seen over the last 6 months is an increase in screen time. And for many kids who may be either part-time or full-time doing remote learning, screen time is really critical. And teachers and parents have been doing yeoman's work and figuring out good, positive ways to use technology to help kids. But we want to spend a few minutes today just talking about some of the things that you should be on the lookout for, how you can reinforce positive messages to your kids, and how you can help support them so that they feel safe in being good bystanders and in coming to you if they have questions or things that make them nervous. The first is really talking to kids about what sites they're using, what apps they're using. I'm sure, like me, many of you have had to rely on your kids for a little bit of help with your own technology. So this is a great way to have those conversations. There's a good rule of thumb that if you, whatever number of apps or sites you know your kids are using, they're probably using twice as many. And however many accounts you think they probably have 2 or 3 more. So it's a good way to just have conversations about what is it you're using. I'm using Zoom for work. What are you doing? To have them walk you through some of the sites, that will give you just a very natural opportunity to talk about safety points. And then do a little bit of research yourself on some of those sites. We all know there's been lots of discussion about a site the kids love, TikTok. And if you don't know what TikTok is, you need to get a good summary of that. And as well, just remind kids that for most sites that are a little bit more adult themes, there is a requirement that kids be at least 13 before they go online to comply with the law. And don't be talked into signing your 11-year-old up for those sites because everybody else is using them. There's a reason they put that in there. The other piece is really talking about how they protect their information. A good rule of thumb is just really talking about how easy it is to start sharing information, which is like what many of you have probably been doing at home. It's like a puzzle piece. The more pieces of information you have out there, the easier it is for somebody who has bad intentions towards kids to find out about them. One easy thing, and something I'm always fascinated about, is to just show them, using just a couple of pieces of information, how even somebody who's not terribly tech savvy can pretty quickly do some Google searches and find out a lot of information. And just the same way that you teach them to lock the door or lock their bike where they teach it somewhere, be sure that they understand that passwords serve the same purpose. They should be good, strong passwords. And even when their very best friend is urging them to share so they can all look at everything, passwords should only be shared with you. And as many of you have probably learned, teach them really clearly about clicking on unknown links and attachments. Not only can it cause a lot of damage to your computer, but it can take them to a place where people are getting a lot of information. And the same is true with their privacy settings. Privacy settings don't remain in place forever. There are lots of things that can cause your devices to default back to public settings. There are ways that people can come into your system and default that back. So just like you check the batteries in the smoke detector, you should be in the habit every so often of checking your privacy settings. One of the things that I talk with kids about all the time is the lesson that all of you have told your kids from the time they were able to understand. You don't go anywhere you don't talk to strangers. And it's good to just always remind kids that even somebody that they might be playing a game with, or they're in a chat room or any of those things, if they can't physically identify that person is a stranger. They have no idea who's actually behind what they're reading on a screen. And really emphasizing to kids that even if somebody they've been talking or playing with wants to meet up with them, wants them to take a phone call, wants them to send some photos, that is something they need to come to you right away and report that so you can take the appropriate action. again, we have all seen on many, many times during this period the impact that inappropriate posts can have, the harm that they can cause to the subject of those, people who become very depressed, maybe hurt themselves because of that, people who've lost amazing jobs and positions because of things that they've posted. So it's really important to be talking to kids about how long something lives when they post it online, how colleges and jobs will be looking at their digital footprint for a long time, and just kindness, how they should think about the person on the other end of the screen. And if they wouldn't look at that person and see the hurt on their face when they posted something, just because they're looking into glass, they shouldn't think that it's okay to post that. They should treat everyone the same. And I really just want to reinforce giving your kids really positive messages about how they can protect themselves and how they can be good bystanders. Often as parents, our first reaction when kids come to us with something that's scary or something wrong that they've done is to be upset or to be angry at them. That's not encouraging them to come forward and talk about it. So if your kids do come and talk to you about something they might have done, a place they might have gone online that they shouldn't have, or something that one of their friends has told them about, a request they've gotten to meet somebody or to send some pictures, take a breath, really think about how hard it has been for that child to do that. Think about what an amazing kid you've raised who trusts you enough to come and do that, and then make choices about how you're going to fix the situation and help them to keep themselves safe. So this is a great opportunity to really empower your kids to recognize the positive side of technology, the dangers that it can pose, and how to sort that for themselves with the help of trusted adults. Also, we talk a lot about bullying, that relentless kind of posting of information or conversations. And if you think about the fact that kids have been bullying other kids since there have been kids, but what often causes the real problem with electronic bullying is, number one, the numbers of messages. We can often look at a phone and see that literally hundreds of nasty messages have been received by someone day and night. And not only have they been receiving messages from one person, but the ability of other people to chime in just amplifies that awful thing that's been being said as other people start joining in and agreeing with the criticism that's being directed. And everybody's child can be either the victim or the perpetrator of bullying. It's really our job as parents to be on the alert for that. If you start noticing kids being very secretive about devices, and people will often say to us, I don't want to violate my child's privacy. You're paying the bill for that device. It should be very clear early on that there is no privacy in that device. So if you see people turning away, turning them off, you should be concerned about that. If you see signs with your child of they're losing interest in things, they're sleeping too much or too little, they're eating or too much or too little, all of those things that you as a parent know tell you something is not right. Look a little deeper. Take a look at their devices, talk to them about what's been going on, and take the appropriate steps to deal with that. We're going to show you in a moment a slide that offers some good additional resources, but I hope that you'll take this opportunity, as we all are using our devices more, to really build some self-confidence and decision-making in your own children. Thank you so much for listening.